Okay, thank you so much, Rajan sir. And welcome, Kanishka, Aliana. So it would be nice if you can turn on your cameras. Okay, thank you so much. Glad to see you all over here. So hi, everybody. A very warm welcome to all of you from the Olympiad Success family. So today we are here for a demo and interaction program and on accelerated course for grade 5 students, and this is for subject science. Okay, so science Olympiads preparation we are here. Now why accelerated? Because we are approaching near our Olympiad examinations and we have to finish the course early. So that is why this name is given, and it is basically accelerated means that we have reduced few sessions, but then in these compressed classes, the entire course would be certainly covered. Okay, so even though we have reduced the number of classes, but then the entire course will be taken up. All right, so the flow of this session would be, first of all, Richa ma'am would be giving her introduction, so she will be your mentor for this entire course. Okay, and there is already one student, one previous year student of Richa ma'am, and she would again be her student, so that's really great. Then Rajan sir will be taking you through the presentation about this course. After that, I will be taking you through the platform tour. Okay. And finally, we'll be having a question and answer round. So in case if you have any doubts, queries, you can write it down in the chat section. Post that, we will be starting with the demo session for which you all are here. Okay. So over to you, Richa ma'am. Hi, Richa ma'am. Welcome on board.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. And my name is Dr. Richa Tawar, and I'm going to be a mentor for the upcoming session for the grade 5 accelerated batch. And as ma'am said, that since we are running short on time and there is a lot to cover, this is going to be an accelerated batch. So we are going to run not only to cover up the entire course, we'll be doing a lot of practice question. How many of you are appearing for the Olympiad exams for the first time? Or have you already prepared for the Olympiad in previous year in grade 3, grade 4? Who all are the first timer? Just raise your hand. Kanishka, that's it. So rest of you are already tenured players, right? So you know how different your Olympiad exams are from your regular school exams. Obviously, the preparation is also different. You will be going deep diving into the subject. So guys, the Olympiad exam preparation is always done in 2 steps. There are 2 steps involved. First step is to understand the concept. Here, your understanding will reach out to grade 4 course, grade 5 course, and we'll be touching base with the course 6 syllabus as well. And then in the second step, we'll be applying whatever we have learned in the class to our problems. We'll analyze the questions and then try to solve them using whatever fundamentals we have learned. So why don't we just, apply it in day-to-day life? For example, right now, the monsoon season is going on, right? So which phenomena do we observe first? Do we see the lightning first or do we hear the thunder first? Whenever the weather is bad and there is lightning, there's thunder, what do you get to observe first? Do you see the lightning first or do you hear the thunder first? Put it in the chat box. What do you get to observe first? And you have to be quick. Thunder, Kanishka is saying. You hear the thunder first? Okay.
Everybody saying thunder. They have sent a private message to me.
Oh, actually. They're
sending
Alaina,
Harprasna, Advita.
Right, guys. First of all, to your surprise, Advita is right. It is lightning. Right. You get to see it first. You hear it later. There is a time difference between the 2 zones. Why? Because the speed of light is really fast, much faster as compared to the speed of sound. And here comes an important question for those of you who have answered it correct, Advita and Harprasanna. Why is speed of light faster than speed of sound? Why? Because light does not need a medium to travel. Sound is dependent on particles, on a medium to travel. That is why. And this is why Olympiad is different from your regular school studies. Understood? So for now, I'll hand over the stage to Rajan sir. He'll take you for the tour and then we'll start with the demo. Yes, ma'am?
Sure, thank you, ma'am. Yeah, let me share my screen with the students. So I hope my screen is visible. Welcome, students. Welcome to the demo interaction program for grade 5 science. This is the accelerated course. First, let me tell you about us, about Olympiad Success. So Olympiad Success is India's largest online preparation platform for Olympiad exams. We have Olympiad live classes, and we also have school test program. So in school test program, we offer 8 courses that are mathematics, English, science, logical reasoning, communication. In communications, people intend both Vedic maths as well as coding. What else, students? We also offer one-on-one online CBSE, ICSE, IGSE, and IB classes for grade 2 to 12, and one-on-one preparation classes for international mathematics Olympiads like SESMO, CMO, HKIMO, TIMO, Math Count, US Math Competition, Math Kangaroo, and PRMO. Now, students meet the rank holder for session 23 to 23 and session 21-22. So many students in Olympiad Success got international ranks in various Olympiad exams. Okay. Now about this course, students, so there will be around 20 students in the class, and the classes will be conducted on Zoom platform only. So there will be 3 sessions per week. The days will be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and class timing will be 5 to 6:15 p.m. Now in the session include mix of theory, practice question, doubt session, and we will also discuss previous year Olympiad papers. And students, with this course, you will get reading material and practice questions, which will be available on the dashboard of Olympiad Success. Other than that, you will also get free access to the Olympiad Success platform to practice topic-wise mock tests for science as well as for logical reasoning. Okay. Now the syllabus link I will share within the chat box. The fees for this course is 8,532, and there will be 36 sessions in this course as it is an accelerated course. Okay. The fees include online classes, daily reading notes and exercises, practice of previous year paper, and access to Olympiad Success platform for science as well as for logical reasoning, topic-wise mock tests. Okay. Now to join this course, what you need a laptop with good internet speed and laptop or desktop with camera, as we don't allow students without video in the classes, and headphone. And students, as you know, like preparation for Olympiad exam is tougher than like your school regular curriculum. Hence, you need to spend approx 2 hours every day to cope up with the curriculum, and parent support will be needed to check answers and retrieve concepts. Okay. Now the live classes for this course, we are going to start from 26th of July, and currently we having students from 3,800 schools, and we are keeping in 35 plus countries. So this is all about this course, students. Now Aarti ma'am will give you a tour of dashboard. After that, if you have any doubt or query, we'll take that. Okay. So over to you, Aarti ma'am.
All right, thank you so much, Rajan sir, for this wonderful presentation. So I believe all the students would have heard to this presentation really carefully, because Rajan sir will be now asking you questions after this tour of the platform gets over. Okay. Now let me share my screen, and yes. So students have already logged in here, as you see. So what you have to do is, like, once you enroll with us for this particular program, you have to go to our website, which is olympiadsuccess.com. Okay. And go to the login page, enter your credentials. You would be getting the same like by us. So you have to use those credentials and go to the dashboard. Here, like, you would be reaching the profile page. Make sure your profile is complete, and then only you can move to any other section on the dashboard. Click on the live classes, because here on this page you can access all the content. Here, as you notice, under the subjects drop down, there are these many subjects listed. It indicates that I've subscribed to all these subjects, right? But then for you, it will be only those subjects for which you have subscribed. So let's say it's Science Olympiad. I'll select a topic. So let's say I select air and water, and then you would be having the reading material, practice questions, and answer keys for the same. Just click on any one of the links. So let's say I would want to study the reading material. I'll click on that, and everything related to air and water will be displayed in this PDF. Okay. Then there would be practice questions for this particular topic. Just open it up and you can see all the practice questions. Mark your answers, and then finally compare your answers with the answer keys given over here. So air and water, this is the answer key. So you can match your answers with the answer key given over here. Then we have the schedule part. In this schedule, we have structured the entire syllabus very carefully. So what you would be like starting in session 1, session 2, session 3, so on and so forth. So everything is mentioned very clearly. There would be frequent tests after every topic or two, so that we are sure that you are aligned with your mentor and you're understanding each and everything. Okay. And then finally, we would be having super classes. So you see, like in 32 sessions, your course will get completed. While in the remaining 4 sessions, we would be taking up the super class. So basically in these classes, we would be taking up previous year questions and yeah, lots of question solving would be there, doubt solving would be there. So it would be focused more on practicing. Then we have the holiday calendar. So on these dates, the classes will not be conducted owing to the holidays. And then finally, Zoom meeting ID and password. So here your meeting ID and password will be displayed, using which you can log into the live classes on Zoom platform. Then finally, we have the worksheet section. So here you can access the topic-wise worksheets. What you have to do is go to the subject. So let's say this is comprehensive science. Here you can see all the topics related to this particular subject. You have to just click on the take exam button, take the exam, and finally view your answer keys by going to the performance tab. Click on comprehensive science. Here I had taken one test on animals. I'll just click on the view button to view my answer keys. So that's all about the platform. I'll stop my screen share and now we can take up the questions if any.
Do anyone have any doubt or query, students? You can put in the chat box. No doubt? Okay. Okay, so in that case, let me ask some questions to you. Can you tell me the days on which you're having the classes? Anyone remember? Okay, Kanishka answered Monday, Thursday, Friday. Any other answer? You can put in the chat box. Anyone? No? Monday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, no, Alina. Okay, no, the days are not Monday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, so days are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay, and what are the class timing? Anyone remember class timings? Waiting for your answers. Kanishka answered 5 to 6:15. 5 to 6:15 p.m. That was, yes, correct. The timing is 5 to 6:15 p.m. Okay. Okay, so do anyone have any doubt or query, students, or shall we start with the session? So just for today's session, you all be on mute, okay? You can put in the chat box your answers or if you have any doubt, okay? But in your live classes, you can unmute yourself and you can ask the doubts, okay? So I think we can start with the session then. Over to you, Richa ma'am. I think we can start.
Yes, thank you, Rajan sir. Guys, again, I would request you all to ask question now because once the session starts, I don't want anyone coming up how to access the dashboard, where to get question papers from, because this is the question we get most in the first 3-4 classes, right? So better ask it now because I remember I'm a science teacher. I'm not into technology at all. So I may not be able to help you out at that time. Everything is clear? We are ready to go forward, right? So as sir has mentioned, for today's session, you'll be on mute, but you can always use your fingers to press the answers in the chat box, which I'm expecting you to give. So I'm sharing my screen with you all. The topic for today's demo will be plants. Something that we are all very familiar with, something that we have already learned in previous grades. Is there anyone who has never heard of plants? Tell me now. Any alien here? No? All knows what plants are? Which plant is this? Which plant image is this? Write in the chat box quickly and make sure that you're answering it to me directly or to everyone. Very good, Elena. This is Venus flytrap, right? It's an insectivorous plant. So for today's class, we'll start with the beginning first. We all know your plants have two main systems, shoot system and root system. Which one show positive geotropism? Geo means earth. Positive means it is showing positive reaction while going towards earth. Which part of the plant grow towards the earth? Shows positive geotropism. Which part? Hurry up. This one is easy. I made it easy. I split the word into two parts. Geo means earth, tropism means growing. So it is growing towards the earth. Which part of the plant? This part, the root system. They grow towards the soil. Why? Because they need to grab as much water and as much minerals as it can for the plant. That's their job, right? So they show positive geo tropism. And which one shows positive phototropism? Photo means light. Which light are we talking about? Sunlight. So the shoots will grow towards the sunlight. Why? Because they're holding a very important structure on top of them, which is the leaves. And leaves are the food factories for the plant. They are preparing food for the plant by the process of photosynthesis. So they need to grab as much sunlight as they can. So in order to get as much sunlight as they get more and more closer to the light. They grow more and more closer to the light. That is why we say they show positive phototropism. Now, for now, today, we've learned two terms already, geotropism, phototropism. The class, when you take the classes, regular classes, I would recommend keep a notepad ready with you so that if you get to hear any new word, write it down. That way, you'll build up your scientific vocabulary, right? Now, what is the job of each and every part? First and foremost, you have your roots, which are grabbing the water and the minerals from the soil, which are taken up, goes all the way to the leaves. Leaves produce the food using the water from the soil, carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, sunlight from the sun, and chlorophyll, which it already has. So what is the job of the stems? What are stems doing in all of this? Roots are getting the water, leaves are producing the food. What are stems doing? Nothing. What is the job of stems? What function are they performing? Put it in the chat box. I just want a couple of keywords. You don't have to write the whole sentence. Very good. Kanishka, very good. Prasanna, very good. Yes, Sayam, correct. Their job is to supply. Supply what? They are, they are like in bilateral movement. On one hand, they will carry the water and mineral which roots have picked up and take it all the way to the leaves. On the same hand, with the other tube, it will bring back whatever food has been prepared by the leaves and take it to all the other parts of the plant. Correct, Advita? This is the main job of stem. Obviously, this is the part where all your other parts of the plants are present. Your leaves are present on it, your flowers are present on it, your fruits are present on it. So it is supporting the plant. If the stems are not strong enough, then the plant won't be upright. It would be like a creeper or a climber taking support from other structures in order to grow. So stems are the one which are keeping the plant upright, holding all the structures, supplying food and water to different parts. Now your stems can be of different types. Usually we find the stems which are growing out in the air, they are aerial. But now in the senior grades, we're gonna learn about how stems can be underground, subaerial, and aerial. Now, one by one, I'll show you each of them. Now, since we are learning special types of stems, so we're gonna learn aerial stems that are different from the regular stems. There are stems in desert plants called cladode and phylloxera. You don't have to memorize the name, just understand their function. As you can see, they look like a flattened structure, as if it's a loaf of bread, flattened, mushy. Why? Because it has stored water inside it. Why? Because this is a desert plant and they hardly get access to water. So whenever they get access to water, they immediately soak it all up and store it for future purpose. So you can see such kind of stems in Opuntia, which is a type of a cacti. So you can see that it has barbs on top of it, right? These spines for its protection and for water storage. Moreover, can you see they are linked to each other in a weak manner? They are joined to each other in a weak manner. So whenever the conditions are right, they dislocate from this joint and the part which is broken, dislocated, gets down on the soil and grow into a new plant. That's how they reproduce. Then there are times for certain plants like begonia, like bougainvillea, and like citrus plants. Here the stems get converted into thorns for their protection so that no animals can come and eat them easily. And then there are plants where the stems turn into these kind of whip-like structure, like a hunter's whip, where it will use it to climb on top of other structure, because these are climber plant, like your grapevine, like your passion fruit. These type of stems will grow along the other plant or other structure, maybe a wall or a stick, so that the plants can grow along it. Is it clear? Any doubt about aerial stem? Remember, kids, these are not regular aerial stems. They are specific, special type of aerial stems. Now, one important term that you would have missed in this screen is vegetative propagation. Your plants have two types of parts, vegetative and reproductive. The flower is the reproductive organ of the plant. Why? Because it has both male and female part in it. Any part of the plant other than flower is called vegetative. It includes root, stems, leaves, all of them are vegetative. So when these parts participate in reproduction of the plant, we call it vegetative propagation. How do they do it? So we have underground stems like ginger. This is an underground stem, or let's say garlic. So since it's a stem, they have very important parts which are nodes and internode. Node is a part of the stem from which leaves come out. And the distance between the two nodes is called internode. So when ginger grows under the ground, from the nodes, small roots start coming out. And from the nodes itself, leaves will start shooting out and go out of the soil and turn it into a separate new plant. This is how a new plant starts growing out from a stem of an already growing plant. This is vegetative propagation by stems. The new plant has started growing out from the nodes of the stem. Another example is your onion and garlic. Now, how many of you have seen onion in real life after it is being cut open? You've seen, right? All of you? Whether or not you have eaten, it's a different thing. So how are they different from the regular vegetables? You must have noticed it has these fleshy leaves, bache. This is actually growing under the ground. And this whole thing is called bulb. Inside the onion, if you cut it open at home, you can see this easily. You see this part is called bud, which is surrounded by these fleshy leaves. These are actually leaves which have stored a lot of nutrients in it. This is fleshy leaves. So if you can successfully retrieve this bud and plant it back to the soil, it will turn into a new plant. From this end, the new leaves will start growing out. This will turn into root and the new plant will start growing out. Similarly, potatoes that we have at home, if you go into a pantry and can check them out, you would find some eye buds on top of the potato. The layman call it eyes, but scientists call it buds. So if you don't do anything and just let it, sit in the air, which has moisture inside it, very soon from those buds, the roots start growing out and the bud will grow longer and longer like this and turn into a shoot. You don't have to, spend much efforts. These are all vegetative propagation. You see what happens in regular plants, we sow the seeds and then they turn into a new plant. Here we are not sowing the seed. Here we are already using already grown plant, and then out of the certain parts of those plants, we are letting them grow into a new plant. This is vegetative propagation. Now for the underground stem, we learned about ginger, garlic, onion, turmeric, and potato. So ginger and turmeric grow horizontally. Onion and garlic grow as a bulb. Potato as a tumor. It has no fixed shape. It's just a randomly shaped object. Then there are subaerial stems. The stems which are growing right on the top of the surface of the soil. Sometimes they may be a little bit under the ground. Sometimes they are present superficially on the ground. You generally see them in strawberry or mint plants. Most of the plant will grow vertically up. But some branches of the plant may go lateral and then grow along the ground. And since it's a stem, it has node. From the nodes, new roots will start coming out and then new leaves, and this will turn into a new plant. So amazing part about strawberry and mint plant is that if you allow them to grow in a room, in a very short span, it can cover the whole room. Why? Because these lateral branches will start growing out and go to different areas, and each node of these branches will turn into a new plant. That is why. These are your runner plant. These are called runners because the stems is running. And much similar to these terrestrial plant, you have something similar in water, aquatic plant called water lettuce, or in the scientific language, we call it pistia. Again, a lateral branch grows, and from the node of the branch, root starts coming out, leaves start growing out, and it turns into a new plant. Here we have not sown any seed. Here we have not done anything. Just from the plant which was already grown from its stem, we have started growing a new plant. This is vegetative propagation. Any doubt? Ask me now. If you have any doubt, put it in the chat box. Kanishka, Harprasanna, Alaina, Advita, Sanyam, Urvija, Abhilash, clear? Give me a thumbs up if it's clear so that we can move ahead. Alaina, Harprasanna, Urvija, Abhilash. Alaina, clear, bache? All right. Now, sometimes we deliberately try to reproduce the plants by planting it into a separate plant. How can we do that? Now, suppose I have two plants. One of them has a good root system and one of them has a good stem system. Now, I want them to turn into new plant. Why? Because if I combine best of both things, I'll get best kind of plant. So what do? I take the plant with the best stem system, best shoot system, which is called section or a scion, whatever you wish to call it. Cut it like this. And then I take the plant which has very good well-developed roots. This is called stalk. I cut it open, and then by the help of a cloth, I join them both together like this, tie them together, and then water it regularly, put it in sunlight, and very soon it turns into a healthy plant. This process is called stem grafting. We take stem from one plant which has very healthy shoot system. That plant is called section. Then we take plant which has very good root, cut it like this, put the two parts together, tie them together with the help of a cloth, regularly water it and put it in sunlight. It turns into a very healthy plant. Stem grafting. And suppose I don't even want to do that, but I have a plant which has a lot of buds on top of it, very healthy stem. I'll simply cut a branch of it with buds intact on it and then plant it in moist soil, regularly give it water and sunlight. It will turn into a new plant. Like I can do this in stem cutting, I can do this in roses, chrysanthemum, jasmine flower. And stem grafting, I can do in apples, avocado, roses. This is how you do it. Any doubt? No? Clear? Now, the food factories of the plant, the leaves. Your leaves have many parts in it, right? We have different parts which we have labeled. First and foremost, why are the leaves called as the food factory? Because this is where your plant is producing its food. And what are the ingredients it needs? It gets water from the roots by the help of the stems. It gets carbon dioxide from the air and the sunlight from the sun. How is sunlight trapped? How do plants trap the sunlight? Which part of the plant is responsible for trapping the sunlight? Write it in the chat box. Which particular part? Leaf, Harprasanna, very good. But what part in the leaf? What is responsible for trapping the sunlight? Urvija, very good, Harprasanna. It is chlorophyll. The job of chlorophyll, why it is again and again repeated every time that without chlorophyll, plant cannot produce their food. It is because chlorophyll trap the sunlight for the plant. And that is why your plant is able to produce food. How does it get the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere? Through these openings in its undersurface. So you see on the top surface of the leaf, you have more chlorophyll. Why? Because it needs to get exposed to more and more sunlight so that it can trap it. And at the undersurface of the leaf, we have more stomata, which is tiny, tiny holes in the leaves, which are not visible to you with naked eyes. And through these holes, we take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen, called stomata, which is nostril for the leaves. Now, these are the labeled part of the leaves. First and foremost, there are three main parts of the leaf. The part with which leaf is attached to the stem is called leaf stalk or petiole. This is leaf base, the part which is adjacent to the stem. And then this whole thing is called leaf blade, like your palm, leaf blade. In the middle runs your midrib. This brings in the water and minerals from the stem to the each and every part of the leaf. And these indentations that you see are side veins that will take up the water and minerals to each and every part of the leaf. This is the tip or the apex of the leaf, and this is the edge or margin of the leaf. I'm sure you all have done it in grade 4. Yes? Now, leaves also for some plants can help in growing new plants. How? There are plants like begonia and bryophyllum, where at the margin of these leaves, you get these notches. Can you see these notches? Like there is an indentation, there is a cut. And in these notches grow your buds, which have these roots and leaves. Once they are big enough, they detach themselves from the leaf and plant themselves into the leaf, into the soil on their own. And multiple leaf plantlets can grow like this on a single leaf. This is why bryophyllum leaf is also known as the mother leaf. Why? Because it has so many small plantlets on it. This is how it gets so many plants on the same leaf. Clear? This is vegetative propagation. Yes, Kanishka. Vegetative propagation by leaves. Now comes the part we have already done from grade 3, 4, types of root. Mainly we have read two main types of roots, fibrous root and taproot. When the root is singular, conical, central in nature and multiple side roots come out of it, it is called taproot, as seen in mango tree, hibiscus, mustard, pea, sunflower. And then multiple roots start coming out from the same common point, leaving behind a mesh, like it's all tangled up, all threads which are tangled up together, all in a zigzag manner, nothing seems straight, is fibrous root. The fibrous root is generally seen in banana, grass, wheat, rice, maize, onion plant. The taproot goes very deep. Fibrous is not that deep, but it can go deeper. It looks for more and more water. It goes more horizontally. It's spread like a mat. Tap grows more vertically down. But if I tell you there is third type of root as well. How many of you have read about or heard about the third type of root? Taproot, fibrous root, and third root. Alina, you can write it in the chat box. Third type of root. Very good, Alina. Yes. Aerial root, prop root, stilt root. They are all name of one main type of root called adventitious. Adventitious. What does it mean? Adventitious means something that happens on random, accidentally, something that grows from somewhere which is not regular for it. It is not normal for it. So generally, where do roots grow out from? From the base of the stem. But what if the roots start growing out from the nodes of the stem, as we have seen in the states of vegetative propagation in stem? Or what if they start growing on in the leaves? Then we call them adventitious roots. And these roots can be aerial, as you can see in banyan tree. They start coming out from the bottom of the stems in order to support the heavy branches. Or they can be stilt root, as seen in sugarcane and maize plant, where they are growing obliquely down like this. Or they can be buttress roots, as you can see in case of your rainforest trees, so that they can support the tall trees. But aerial roots come out to provide support. Sometimes aerial roots come out for the plants to be able to breathe better, like in case of mangrove trees. Here they are going in which kind of area? The areas where you have a lot of clay soil, marshy area. In the clay soil, the particle size is very big. There is hardly any space in between the particles, so air is not able to go down. And roots also need air, oxygen to breathe. When they don't get enough oxygen, they die, and the plant also dies. So in order to get more and more oxygen, the roots of these plants start coming out of the soil so that they can breathe better. Yes, Harprasanna. So these are respiratory roots, aerial roots. Here the roots is out. And then sometimes roots modify themselves so that plants can store food inside it. Like your radish, carrot. These are all modified taproots where the food has been stored in the roots. Generally, where do plants store their food? When plants produce food, like leaves have produced the food, and the extra food is stored inside the plant. Where do they store it? Very good. In the fruit. That is why fruit is the most edible part of the plant. But then there are plants who think differently, and then they store their food in different organs, like vegetative organs, like roots, like stems, like leaves. And in that case, those particular organs becomes edible for us. We call them edible root, edible stems, edible leaves. Why? Because that's the part where plant have stored their extra food. Now, much similar to edible roots, we have roots of certain plants like sweet potato and dahlias, which are edible to us because plants have stored their food inside it. And in these roots, there have buds which are present. Roots start growing out from the buds. These are all adventitious buds because this is not a regular place for the bud, but it has happened here, and new leaves will start growing out of it. Once it becomes big enough, it detaches itself from the root and plant itself into the soil. Again, vegetative propagation. Why vegetative? Because it is happening in vegetative part. Propagation means reproduction. So the new plant has started growing out at a very random place. Any doubt so far? Clear? Abhilash, Urvija, Sayam, Advait, Alaina, show me a thumbs up. If in case you have a doubt, write it in the chat box. Okay. All right. This is the only part of the plant which is reproductive. Why? Because it has two main organs, male and female part. Now, mainly your flowers have four main parts. What are those? Sepal, this green part, which you see, which look like a leaf. Petals, the brightly colored part, which is the part which attracts it to the flowers most. And then the male part, which is called the stamen. Can you see this part? This is stamen. And the part which is in the middle is called female part. You can also call it carpel. You can also call it pistil. Once again, I'm repeating myself. Flowers have four main parts. The green leaf-like part is called sepal. The brightly lit, colorful part is called petals. The one in the middle is female part called carpel or pistil. And surrounding it are the male parts called stamen. As you'll keep reading these material again and again, you'll be able to memorize this name easily. Now, your stamen has two parts, anther and filament. Job of the filament is to hold anther. And anther has a very important structure inside it called pollens. And when an insect comes and sits on top of the flowers in order to look for nectar, which are present in the nectaries, which is sometimes located at here or here, the pollens rubs itself off on the body of insect And once the insect flies off from one flower to another flower, it will take away that pollen as well. And pollen moves from the anther towards the female part called pistil or carpel. Once the pollens get transferred to the stigma, it goes through style and reaches the ovary. That is how your pollination is done. Ovary will turn into new future fruit, and fruit has seeds inside it, which will form new plant. Once again, I'm repeating myself. In your male part, you have anther and filament. Anther has pollens. Pollens get transferred by the insect or wind or water to the female part called pistil. The top part of the pistil is called stigma, from which the pollen enters. It goes through the style and reaches the ovary. Once it reaches inside the ovary, it turns the ovary into a fruit. Fruits have seeds inside them, which we sow into the soil and turn them into a new plant. When we start the classes, we'll learn it in more details. Right up as of now, I want you to at least memorize the name of the parts, which is male part called stamen and female part called pistil or carpel. Only till here. We don't want to go in too much detail as of now. Is it clear? Harprasanna, Kanishka, Alaina, Advita, Sanyam, Urvija, Bilash. Are we ready for a small quiz? Since we are done with the demo, and why not just go for a quiz, that whatever we have learned, right? So try doing these questions. This is your picture P. What is happening here? Which process? Is this vegetative propagation? Is it stem cutting or is it stem grafting? Pick your option A, B, C and send in the answer. Very good, Alaina. Harprasanna. Others. I hope you're sending it to me only or not to someone else. Check your answers if you're sending it to me or someone else. Is it stem cutting? Is it stem grafting? Or is it vegetative propagation? If you can see, you will find a cloth has been used to tie up two ends. One part has scion, other part is called stalk. Sayam, correct. It is stem grafting. Abhilash, correct. Urvija, correct. Stem grafting. Now, number 2, the female part of the flower is also called as filament, carpel, or style. Very good, Alaina. Abhilash. Filament, carpel, or style. Sanyam. It is called carpel, also known as pistil, Urvija. Kanishka, right? Harprasanna. You just have to pick A, B, C. You don't have to write the whole name. Okay, Harprasanna? Select the odd one out on the basis of vegetative propagation. Dahlia, strawberry, onion. Which one is odd? Alaina, very good. Harprasanna. Guys, think about it. Onion uses its stem, Sanyam, to vegetative propagate. Strawberry also uses its stem to vegetatively propagate. Which one doesn't? Dahlia uses its roots. So it is Kanishka correct. It is A. Sanyam correct. It is Dahlia. Clear? Any doubt, guys? No doubt? All clear? So this was supposed to be one of the difficult topics from the grade 5. We'll be learning and starting from different topic from grade 5. Lots of course to cover because we're just 3 months away from the Olympiad exam. So how was the session? Write it in the chat box. Everything fine? Anything you are not clear about, anything you want to refocus on, then just let me know. Clear? Thank you. All right. So what we'll be doing is we'll be starting our batch from 26th of July, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 5 to 6:15 p.m. Correct? So I hope to see you all there and you will be allowed to talk there. I like to talk and interact with my students a lot, or which I can vouch for it. Right? So we'll see you all on 26th. Okay? Bye-bye.